So I'm going to use these numbers to show how changes in the dollar-peso exchange rate can be expressed as dollars versus peso as well as pesos versus dollar. And I'm also going to show how that affects the price of goods for foreigners buying the other country's goods. And so what I'm going to use is this formula saying that you can convert the Mexican price into dollars using the exchange rate. If you take 10 pesos and turn it into $1, for example, you're using that exchange rate. Or you could take $10 and turn it into 140 pesos if you take the other exchange rate. You know, one's a reciprocal and one's not. So one is from the peso point of view and one is from the dollar point of view. But either way, you can turn the Mexican price into a dollar price or a dollar price into a peso price using the same exchange rate. And so I've got a range of exchange rates, and I've got the reciprocal, which is simply 1 over the dollar value to get the peso value. And then what I do is I take $100 and I say, well, what would happen if a Mexican buyer were to buy an American good that's priced as $100? Now that doesn't change. American buyers can just pay $100 no matter what because they're not exchanging currency. But anytime a Mexican purchaser wants $100, they have to buy their currency through a bank or through the financial system at a fluctuating rate. And how many dollars they get for their peso deposit depends on the exchange rate that's determined by market forces. So they could take a set number of pesos, but they get a different amount of dollars. Or you could say, well, how many pesos do I need given different exchange rates for in order to reach $100, right? So the exchange rate determines how expensive it is to get $100. Now this is from the peso point of view. To get 1,400 Mexican pesos, it takes a different amount of dollars depending. So again, the price tag in Mexico says 1,400 pesos. How many dollars it requires to reach that depends on the exchange rate. And so that's going to be a varying number. All right, and so it also shows that products get more expensive as the currency value changes, and that's going to affect trade. In other words, exports and imports. And so I've got a fairly reasonable range for the dollar peso. So this is 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 pesos per dollar. If you take the reciprocal, it's 0.1, 0.0833, and so forth until we get to 1/20th. All right, and so as this rises, this falls. All right, then what I do is I use this formula and say, well, in order to get $100, I simply multiply. I take $100 times here, and then I turn $100 into 1,200, 1,400, 1,600 pesos. At the same time, I can take this and multiply, and I wind up turning $1,440 into 1,400 pesos at these different rates. And so here, if I divide 140 by 0.1, I get 1,400. Or if I divide 116.62 by this number, I get 1,400. Right? So it's all the same numbers, it's just simply upside down, and that's really important to grasp. So first of all, if you go this way, you can see that $1 is appreciating. If we go down the column, the dollar is gaining in value. All right, so $1 is buying more and more pesos. But at the same time, we could say that the peso is depreciating. And you can see here that 1 peso is losing value. Again, as the number grows, its reciprocal must shrink and vice versa. So this direction down is a dollar appreciation and a peso depreciating. Also, if we go this direction, the dollar is depreciating and the peso is appreciating. All right, so again, they go in opposite directions because they're simply the inverse of each other. All right, so if we go up, 1 peso is rising in value. If we go down, $1 is rising in value. All right. Now this is important. We're using this equation. We're just converting at the exchange rate that's given. But if you look here, as the dollar appreciates, $100 gains value. This is the product here that shows what is $100 worth. And